Everything is fine here on Detention Block E28, a Star Wars podcast. I'm Mike, joined by Bogie, here to talk all things Star Wars. I know we've been absent a little bit for the past couple of weeks due to some travel. My family was out on vacation, so we took a couple weeks off, but now we're back here to talk some more Star Wars. And I'll get the business elements out of the way really quick. So if you're listening to us right now, you're watching us on YouTube, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, rate, review, comment, all the above. We greatly appreciate it. Any little thing you can do definitely helps get our channel's name out there amongst all the other channels that are Star Wars. So we thank you. Our chat is up and running, so make sure to drop your thoughts, opinions, say hi, make fun of us, do whatever you want in that chat, and we'll bring you in part of the show just as one of us. So how you doing, Bogie?
Doing good. Yeah, Ryan, you're out there. Say something.
Ryan, if you listen to us, we're going to call you out every time until you speak up again. So
Oh yeah,
where are
our
you,
captain over
Ryan?
here, Mudge. How
Yellowstone.
was Montana?
It was good. We didn't see Rip.
Dang it.
So
Did you
I'm
see
sure
Kevin
my
Costner
wife
at least? Did
was
you see Kevin Costner at least?
no. I think Mitch made sure that Kevin Costner would not come near us.
He's not a fan.
But not a fan. No, I like Kevin Costner as an actor. I think he does great. I love that Yellowstone show. But it's probably a good thing we didn't run into Rip or Casey because I don't know,
Your
I might
wife would
lose.
disappear.
Yeah, I would lose my wife to them in a heartbeat. So,
Oh, Casey
um,
as well.
yeah, she
Did
likes
you lose
Casey
both
as
of
well. Yeah, it originally started as just Rip, but then it was Rip and Casey, and then she also likes from the more recent one. Is it 19 or 1912? The main guy from that one.
them? Is that
Have you seen that
McGraw?
one? No, 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 no. That's the 1883.
So the Harrison Ford one?
Yeah, the Harrison Ford one. So hey, there's a good tie-in. Harrison Ford, Star Wars, Harrison Ford,
Well,
and
there you go.
the Dutton series. Um, which the best one is 1883. That's my favorite, and then 1912 or whatever
I
it
think
is,
you're right.
and
It's
then
like 19,
Yellowstone.
yeah.
But all three are
1923, I think it's called.
yeah, I think that's right, 1923. All three series are fantastic, like top-notch shows, but that's the order that I like them. So, um, but yeah, Montana was great. Thanks for asking. Uh, got a lot of hiking in. Spent most of the time chasing our son around as he chased his two cousins around. So he was having the time of his life running around our VRBO or no Airbnb, which
Yeah,
come
which
to
I was say
find
you have to segue into your air. I saw your TikTok. Oh my God. That
did you look the person
what
up?
did you handpick that Airbnb?
No, I I
That
wasn't
movie,
even.
just the movie theater itself was awesome.
Yeah, no, it was funny because it was actually my brother who like pushed us to get that one. But my wife Colleen actually found that one too, but in the look she was like, no, that one's too expensive, which I agree. So we like passed on it. But then my brother was like pushing, no, we should do this, we should do this. And like we talked as a family and we're like, with everything that we've gone through in the past couple of years, so my dad fighting cancer, my brother going through his divorce and everything, we're like, okay, we're finally able to get everyone together. We're going to bite the bullet and we're going to spend a little extra money on this Airbnb in Big Fork. And it was right on a river that leads to Flathead Lake. And it's only like a half a mile of river before you hit the lake. But yeah, it had a movie theater, and the homeowner is obviously a big Star Wars fan. And I did not
Obviously.
play a part in picking this place. This was just a happy accident. um yeah, the theater room was for the most part Star Wars themed, and they had like all the original like Kenner toys of Star Wars like within a mount or frame or whatever, along with like autographed pictures and a bunch of other stuff. And then they had a bedroom. One of the bedrooms was all Star Wars. Like it was black and white. It had a big stormtrooper like canvas picture on the wall. The walls were wallpaper of like blueprints for like ships and everything. There's a Millennium Falcon on the wall, like Chewie head and everything. It was like ridiculous in a good way. Um, I actually didn't end up getting that room, shockingly. Um, but the room I did get, my wife and I and Jackson, is was the master bedroom or primary bedroom. I know a lot of people are calling it primary bedroom now. That's hard for me to adjust to. But um, on the last day of our trip, my brother figured out who the owner of the house was, and because he found in the kids' bunk room. So uh, there were two girls with so my brother's daughter and then his girlfriend's daughter, ages 6 and 8, and in their bedroom there's a bunch of like kids toys and kids books and everything in the closet, and above that was like a shelf, and then there was this huge stack of one book. Like there were maybe 20 or 30 copies of this one book. My brother was like, oh, that's kind of odd, why would you have the same book 30 times in here? And he took one out, and it was a book written by Victoria's Secret model Kylie Bisutti, I think is her name, who's a former lingerie Victoria's Secret model. And it was a book she wrote, and we're like, okay, what's with this? Like, what's the connection here? There has to be. And then my wife Colleen looked up on Instagram Kylie Bisutti, and there were pictures of them in this house and like family pictures like on the stairwell or at the bar, and we're like, okay, this is their house, this is this person's house. So then, like, because Colleen and I were staying in the master primary bedroom, I kept making the joke like, I'm sleeping in the bed of Victoria's Secret model Kylie Bisutti, and I'm taking showers in her shower. And I helped Jackson get a bath in the tub, so I sat in the tub of Kylie Bisutti.
Not knowing what kind of stuff happened maybe in that bedroom and bathroom.
Well, are you talking about what Kylie Bisutti did? Because there was no stuff
I don't know.
on our end, because we're chasing around our kid the whole time. Mind you, my wife is almost 8 months pregnant. So,
And
but
let alone,
yes,
so now you know she must be a huge Star Wars fan.
yes. And looking at her Instagram, they are definitely Star Wars fans. So
Or they,
shout out to the Basutti family. Like,
was that like
hey,
on
if
their
you want to
Instagram?
cut,
Does it
what's that?
on their Instagram? Does it like what show I'm going to like Disney World or whatever and going through like the
No,
Star
here.
Wars?
Well, I won't invade into the.
Yeah,
I won't show her
that would scare
Instagram
me.
or anything on here. But like, if you're listening, or Bogie, if you want to yourself, look up on Instagram her name and find her. You'll be able to figure out who it is. I think it might even mention in her like profile or whatever. Um, you'll see pictures of like Star Wars stuff. Like for Christmas, they had Star Wars, I think PJs or something like that. There was um a picture of them with their kids with like lightsabers, and something about the four. Well, I'll look it up. Because now I'm trying to remember. So hold on. But yeah, shout out to them for being Star Wars fans. If they ever want to come on the show and talk Star Wars with us, we'd be more than happy to have them on. Yeah, here's a picture from Halloween where the husband is Darth Vader, Kylie is Padme, the kids are a little Vader, Stormtrooper, Ray. Uh, there's a picture of them at the bar, and it was around 2020, and it's like one of those like uh presidential candidate shirts where you've got like
Oh, the
the
like the
person
ribbon.
name, and then like and it says Kenobi 2020, our only hope. So they're all wearing short shirts like that. And there's like a mini BB-8 over on the side and everything. So like, needless to say, they're all Star Wars fans. So it was pretty
That's
cool, and
that's
it it,
awesome.
it was like meant to be that this was the place that we ended up staying at. And again, the Sudi family, Kylie, Mike, I think is her husband's name. If you guys want to come on and talk Star Wars, or talk about how wonderful your freaking house is, amazing and on the water.
Advertise
Like,
it some more.
yeah, hey, if people want to stay at this place, check it out on Airbnb. It's great. It's beautiful, nice and clean, and got everything you would ever want for you and your kids. My one criticism is the the internet was not good.
I mean,
But
but
it's Montana,
you
so
you
you got
said
to.
you were maybe expecting that when you had left um beforehand.
Well, yeah, I mean
You
Montana
had
doesn't
said,
have
yeah,
the
like,
best
we're going to be
internet.
out up in the mountains. Who knows what kind of reception we're going to
It,
have?
exactly.
It's Montana.
Um, but like, so they have that awesome media room, but it's mostly streaming. So
Oh,
like,
so was streaming not working?
I mean,
Come and go?
we got it to work, but you just had to make sure like other people weren't on devices, you know.
Oh,
So
to like
you
take
can't
up
be
the
on your
bandwidth.
phone, yeah, to be taking up the bandwidth. So we were able to make it work, but we just had to make sure we weren't on our phones or whatnot. And we actually didn't really spend that much time in there, outside my dad like watching the Brewer games from time to time, because we were too busy like chasing our kids around until 9 o'clock at night. So, but we did spend a little bit of time in there, and it was awesome. So, if you're going to spend time in Montana around Big Fork or going to Glacier National Park, look this house up. It, it's going to cost a pretty penny, but it's definitely worth it. So,
I'm
uh,
surprised, given if the internet, it's like the whole point of an Airbnb up in, Montana, and you're doing all this hiking stuff, but if you're
yeah,
gonna like sit down, chill out, you're telling me they didn't have any like board games?
no, they had that. They
So
had board games and
so they didn't have
everything.
Rebellion?
No, no, I
That
not
takes
that I saw.
that takes 8 hours to play.
I,
That will kill some time.
talk about like let's go to Montana and play Rebellion for 8 hours a day. See how that flies.
Yeah, that's all I wanted to come to Montana was just to play
Yeah,
Rebellion.
just to play Rebellion. They might have had the game. I didn't see it. I mean, I saw like Risk and some like I think Monopoly was there and some of your other standard board games, but
I mean,
they
that
had
would be
like the cool thing though, they did have a arcade game Pac-Man down on the main floor,
oh
which was like where the bar was. They had a pool table. There was this Pac-Man game. The kids loved that.
oh they had a
Um,
pool table as well.
yeah,
This
but
place
we
must have
never
been
even
like a
touched the pool table, but yeah,
you
they had a pool
didn't?
table there.
Was
What's that?
this place like a mansion?
It was pretty big. It was pretty big.
Jeez.
It was like an old lodge, like a small lodge that was put built into a home pretty much because it looked like, I mean, it was two levels and it almost looked like there's like a common space and then two different like living areas type of a thing. But I mean, we had seven adults and three kids. So we took up all the rooms. It was the perfect amount of rooms for us. Um,
Also,
so
like no
it,
one had to like sleep on a couch or something.
nope, exactly. So, and
That's
we had
perfect.
vacant, I mean, the kids, the two girls were in the bunk room. Jackson stayed in our room with us and we brought a cot for him, but there was a futon that he ended up liking more. So he just slept on the futon the whole time. But the girls stayed in a bunk room that had two bunks, so it could sleep four kids. So there were two bunk beds still vacant. Other than that, all the main living or all the main bedrooms were occupied by us. So it worked out well. Um, yeah, it was gorgeous. But now it's back to reality. Ah, I wish I could just
Back to
live out
planet
there.
Earth.
Back to planet Earth, talking about Star Wars, which is okay. That's fine. It's all the other normal day-to-day stuff that's I would rather be on vacation for. But anyways, well, what we wanted to do for today, oh, I should mention too, and Bogie was gracious enough to watch after my dog Lincoln. So Uncle Bogie got some quality Lincoln time while we were gone.
Who's a
uh,
good boy?
and he's sleeping right here.
Yep.
Um, but what we wanted to talk about today is season one of Visions. I know on our channel we have talked about it before, but we haven't had the opportunity to talk with Bogie about it, and I think he pushed through. Well, I shouldn't say push. I think you watched the first 5 episodes of season 1 of Visions. Is that correct?
Yep.
So that's what we'll focus on today is those 5 episodes, which is the duel, Tatooine Rhapsody, the twins, the Village Bride, and the Ninth Jedi. Um, yeah, and we'll just go from there. So we'll go episode by episode. So we'll start with the first one, the duel. Just first off, what are your overall thoughts about this episode?
I was a little thrown off. I'll say right off the bat of these first, like, I guess I was thrown off track, but I think I kind of knew what I was like getting into starting this series or this show in general. It's just like each episode has its own kind of animation style.
Yep.
This first one being like this kind of like rigid black and white animation. I
Yeah.
was like, oh, is this what the whole show is going to be like? I'm like, oh, I think, and I like looked it up and I was like, no, each episode is kind of its own. And then I had texted you and you said, no, I mean, none of this is canon.
Right.
So it's like its own storyline. And I've noticed there's like a theme too, though, between some of these episodes of this like samurai.
Yeah.
Am I getting that? Like, there's another episode. Is it the
Well,
duel and
yeah. Well, I will
the
say,
village bride? I think had kind of like a samurai presence like theme to
yep.
it.
Yeah, the Village Bride, the duel, a majority, if I remember correctly, majority of these studios are Asian anime studios.
Okay.
So a lot of them, and there will be more in the second half. So episodes 6 through 9, there's going to be more of this Asian theme to it. Um, Specifically, well, 7, 8, 9 all have kind of a samurai Asian theme to it, or setting, I should say. Um, and that's just a product of the studio and where they're from. So it's I think it kind of like fits Star Wars too, because I know Star Wars is supposed to be like a Western, spaghetti Western, space odyssey, but there are definitely like,
It's expanded beyond
yeah,
that from George Lucas's like initial thought of like what it would
yep,
be. It's
yep.
definitely, yeah, no.
And there's definitely samurai um elements to Star Wars as well, at least the type of uh a story that's being told, not necessarily specific samurai, but if you watch like old samurai movies or shows, there's some of those themes that you see them are very prevalent in Star Wars movies or shows as well. So I think that element of it really fits Star Wars pretty well. But I'll let you continue on this first episode.
Just to continue that, but that conversation, it would just be like kind of like even look at like the Jedi, like their attire
Yeah.
looks like if you watch like The Last Samurai with Tom Cruise, like
Hmm.
I'm just like that comes to my mind right away, like how their attire with their like that and their cloak and everything, and
Yeah.
then how like where you have your sword is like hidden behind your like cloak, but
Yep.
that's how a samurai would kind of have it concealed. And then on top of that, just like the whole how they have their hair done. I mean, look at Qui-Gon Jinn, Liam Neeson, his character how it was like tied, like he had longer hair, but he had like somewhat of a ponytail. Like I'm right now, I'm looking at the image of like the duel first episode of the samurai. He's got that similar look of the hairdo. So like definitely, they must have been taking ideas out of
Well,
that
even the
kind of
saber fighting styles, there's
yeah,
definitely
yeah.
samurai or Asian influence on that. So,
And then
um,
even in the duel, um, before whatever the protagonist when he
yeah, I
steps
can't
in,
remember their names, so don't worry
gotcha.
about the
Yeah, I know.
name.
But the
I just
protagonist
know that Ronan is the main,
Ronan, that
yeah, is
there
the
you
main
go.
guy. Yep.
He when he like finally enters into the mat or like kind of into the fight because there you had Sith or I don't know, Sith, dark user, whatever, jump off because they kind of got like tricked or ambushed or whatever
Yep,
by
ambush probably.
all their like warriors and bounty hunter. Like they look like bounty hunters, but they're like
It's like a
protecting their
ragtag group of, yeah,
yeah,
like soldiers. Yep.
protecting the colony. But they didn't have any like obscure weapons.
Mm-mm.
It was just like blades and this and that and whatnot. Um, but then was this the episode when whoever the antagonist was in when she decides to enter the fight? Didn't she have like a spinning
Yeah, it's like
like
almost an
the helicopter lightsaber?
yeah, it was like an umbrella without like the actual material. It was just like the spokes of the umbrella, but yeah,
Yeah.
and it spun and there's like 6 to 8 different blades that so she puts her blade into the device or contraption and it splits off to like six
Yep.
or eight different mini blades and that can twirl and whatnot, but she can take it out and it be the single blade again.
But then it was when she engages, I think she takes out like maybe two or three of the
Yep.
colonies like warriors or whatnot, and that's when then our protagonist, the Ronin, he engaged. And
Yep.
like I said too, he's a Ronin and he looks like a samurai, but even though his outfit still looks like a Jedi, even
Yep. Yep.
that's why I was making that reference. And I love how he kind of like whatever his R2 unit was.
Yeah.
When he was like, and he was telling it's the guy that was in it's not the same guy, but the same species that always fix stuff, and the guy, the
Yeah.
Mandalorian, in that
Yeah,
like
like the Ugnaught
yeah,
type. Yep.
that can fix everything.
Yep.
Like he's like, can you make it sure this is fixed before my stew is ready? I got a good laugh out of that, like cockiness.
Yeah.
Then he jumps into the battle, and it's like, okay, you could see he's got like the handles to like his swords, but I'm like, does he have a lightsaber? Is he force sensitive? But then when what's her name tries to like chop him down, he like stops it with the force, and then she goes,
Yeah.
"What? You're a Jedi?" And like pushes her back. Then he pulls out his you would think a sword. It's actually a red lightsaber. You're like, oh shit, he's like a dark user too. So then,
Right.
they duke it out and all that. Oh, which for the listeners and viewers, you've been warned, spoilers.
I
But
think it's been enough time.
yeah, um, they're fighting, and then he eventually wins. But it was a very fun fight, just because the color aspect, like I said, it was black and
Yeah.
white
Yeah.
for the most part. But whenever the red lightsaber came out, it brought light to like a red illuminating light
Yeah.
to the animation. I was like, "Oh shit, this is interesting. This is kind of different." But
Yeah.
then like when he finally defeats her, he was going to take he everyone thought he was like, "Oh, like all the villagers and everyone's like, "Oh, wait, he's also like a Sith." But really I don't think he is.
Mm-mm.
And he uses his lightsaber to destroy what's her name's lightsaber just to get the Kyber crystal out that's red.
Yep.
And then you see he opens his jacket and he's looks like and then it's like, oh, he's like almost like a bounty hunter. Like he's
Yep.
just collecting all these kyber crystals and they're all red. He's like a Sith killer.
Yep.
But then he gave one of the like the little girl villager, or was it boy or girl, whatever. Like
I don't
but he said like, here, keep this, protect this.
it'll
And
ward
this
off
he
evil.
said it will ward off all evil,
Yeah.
sort of thing, kind of
Which
like
makes you think that he's not a Sith because a lot of people, well, most people, especially like that village, would probably consider Sith evil. So I
yeah.
would have to believe he's and Ronin in itself, isn't that I mean, isn't that a term for like a wandering
Yeah, it's a
warrior type of thing? It's neither good nor evil, just kind of a wandering warrior. Are you
yes,
looking
it's
it up?
yep. God, I used to know this.
Because it also makes me I haven't read it, but I've always wanted to start reading the Ninja Turtle comics of the Ronin. Have you heard of that?
Yeah, yep.
Where it's like and
It's
you don't know who the Ronin is because three of the
it's
brothers are dead.
three of the four are dead.
but
but one of
one
them
is
takes
still
him
alive and is avenging the deaths of them.
and he doesn't wear. I don't know if he wears like a different color shade of like a mat,
Yeah,
like
I think
a.
it's just like black or gray or something.
I think it's black, but
And then he has one of each weapon.
he wields oh yeah, all the weapons,
Yeah.
and it's like
I think I know who it is, but I don't want to spoil it for people who haven't watched it. But do you know which one it is?
of the turtles.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think don't we won't say it, but I
yeah,
think
we
I
won't say it.
know.
I
Um,
mean, I've at least I can't confirm, but I've heard and read things who it is, but I'm
but
not
is
like you said, I'm not gonna say anything, but
isn't
um
that comic named Ronin, or isn't he
yeah,
referred to as Ronin in that?
yep,
Okay. So
yep,
it's like the same because he's kind of gotten a little darker in that comic. And I think that's out of revenge, which is kind of like what this Ronin is doing. He's avenging like or fighting out the Sith, trying to destroy them, but not a Jedi. So
because okay, so this is where I was thinking you were kind of on the right track, but this is where I remember because it got brought up in something what's the one show? It's in it's on Netflix. It's another anime. Um
newer, older.
newer, like this past year. Uh like shoot.
Is it that one that starts with an A?
No, it's like it's a samurai.
Oh, okay. It's not what
It's
I'm thinking of then.
Red Eye Samurai, I think.
Okay.
Maybe. I don't know. I mean it's a really graphic animation, but I mean it's really good. But okay, so definition of a Ronin is like you said, a drifter and a wandering man, which makes me remind me of another movie that I can't think of the name again, of course, because it's late in the night. But it's every samurai has a lord. Usually it's like
Okay.
it's usually your father.
Sure.
But if you don't like if you know the ways of the samurai but you don't have a lord, you become a Ronin.
A Ronin. Okay.
Because you like you don't it's almost like you don't have a house to belong to. It's like Game of Thrones, I
So
guess. I don't
you're a
know.
wandering, yeah,
Yeah, like you
wandering
don't
warrior.
have anyone that you can say like I'm the samurai of this house or something.
Okay.
If you can't claim that, then you're a Ronin because it's almost like kind of like Game of Thrones. You're a Snow or whatever they call it, a bastard that.
Or even like Mando is kind of a Ronin because like
Oh yeah,
he's no longer Mandalorian when he takes his helmet off, so he's not really affiliated and he has to be redeemed. So for a while he's kind of like a Ronin.
Yep. So yeah, no. So
I really thought it was cool when he pulls his sword out. I thought that was an interesting
how it was like
um
red
yeah, and
and
like
just the
pulling it
like
out of the sheath and it's like igniting as it comes out. So it's, mixing a samurai pulling his like actual sword out of a sheath with like a lightsaber. And it was a katana, if I remember correctly, which is pretty sweet seeing a katana
yeah,
lightsaber.
I think you're right. Yeah,
Um,
I remember.
so really fascinating. And I also liked the color aspect of it, like the red glows. But then you also notice like in the background, like lights, like green or blue lights will be present, or even
Oh
like the
yeah, yeah.
droid
Good,
had like the
good call.
blue
Good,
eye
yeah,
or
good.
whatever. So they threw in color elements here and there. Yeah, I really liked this one. This one was one of my favorites of the season and of the series. So, and when it was released, like what a way to start. You have this awesome samurai Ronin story. Um and
Which
just
makes
the
sense. It's a good pilot episode to like kick off and present to the
yep,
produce, like the whoever's funding, be like, hey, this is what we're kind of visioning,
yep,
and you know, no pun intended.
yep. And I think some of these too, they were um illustrated for like either Japanese language, because you can see like the
The
mouthing isn't really in
it's
sync with the English
kind of
voices.
like the which is
But
something too. Is like I don't know if that's getting a little like I didn't mind it for this,
yeah,
but I think Netflix is getting overkill
really.
with their dubbing, like that's the dubbing effect
So
of
like
like
Squid Games and stuff like that.
Squid Games and everything. It's like you can tell it looks like they're speaking English, but the words aren't like if you can read lips somewhat
Hmm.
decently well, you're like he literally
Throws
said
you
that
off
in
a little bit.
English, but it didn't sink in.
Yeah.
Like the
Yeah.
are you doing this on purpose? And I've been watching other shows and films and they do the same. I'm like, why is Netflix hitting hard on this? Like I know it was a thing back in the day, like I don't know, like old school Godzilla when it was black and white. Sometimes
Yeah.
you're like, half the I don't know if it's because half the character, like half your actors can speak English and half can't. So that's why you have to compensate, maybe. I don't know, like, but
Well, I think like with most like with Squid Games, I mean, it's just English wasn't the spoken language with the cast. They were speaking what is that, Korean, I think Squid Games is from. I think
mhm.
that's a Korean show, South Korea. Well, actually that's South and North Korea. Um, so obviously they're like speaking in their tongue, so that's what their mouth motions are doing. But then like the English dubs don't necessarily align. Um, they're like
But
I know with Squid Games, I didn't check to see if the same was with this Visions, but you can have the native language being spoken and then have like English subtitles. And I know people who watch like Squid Games that way, and it was almost easier, even though you're reading, but the visual of like the acting aligned more. Because yeah, when I watch things in that are dubbed in like English voiceovers, it does get a little distracting when the voice isn't aligned. I mean, even if it's a something in English and like there's an audio delay and you see like them moving their mouths and the English isn't aligned with what they're saying, it like takes you out of it a little bit. So um maybe like listening in it to the show in the native tongue and then reading subtitles might be better. Just another option.
yeah, I don't know. Subtitles just like sometimes I'll turn it on just to like if I rewind just to like I'm like what the I can't
Yeah.
make out what the hell he just said, but it seems important because you'll see
Yeah.
another act or character be like make a reaction. I'm like, what the fuck did he just say? So I will rewind it, turn the subtitles on just to see what the subtitle says, and sometimes the subtitles don't even. I'm like, well, that still doesn't make any fucking sense what he said.
I actually did that because I rewatched the season before talking about it just as like a refresher. And I actually did that for the Ninth Jedi. And I'll speak to it when we get there, but
You
I
know,
did that
it
because
might be. You have to tell me because there was a scene I was about to do it, but then I was like, ah, whatever. Like I
I
just
was like,
want
did he say what I think he did? And I wasn't sure. So
to.
then I rewound it and got confirmation. So I'm like, oh, he did. Okay. So
Okay, so when
when
we
we
get
get
there,
there,
we'll talk about it then.
yeah, for sure.
But yeah, so
Uh,
overall, we can wrap up this like this episode of just him doing it. It's almost like at that too that like that spaghetti western, and you know, if this guy, the Ronin, he's just in town, but then he leaves.
mhm.
Um,
Yeah. And
so
it's black and white because it's honoring original samurai films, which were also in black and white. So
oh
that's why
really?
they
Okay.
that's why they did it that way. And I don't know if you noticed, but so one of like the guards of the town, it looked like it was like a floating droid type of thing, but it wasn't. Do you know or what that actually was?
No,
It was Sebulba's species riding like a saucer thing with like swords that were like
is that what
revolving
was?
around.
I was wondering what was in that. I
It
was like,
looks like if you don't pay attention, go like I've
it
seen it a
happens
couple
quick,
times. I
but
didn't notice the first time I saw that it was. I only noticed it later, but there's a an alien flying that saucer thing,
I
and
knew
it's
someone was flying it. I just couldn't
okay.
see.
It was the species that Sebulba is from episode one, because like um you have like the lizard dude, the lizard species. You've
'Cause he's the
got
one of the bounty hunters, right?
yeah, he's the first one. No, he's the first guard that dies. He's the one that
I
she
know, but I'm saying, isn't his species one of the bounty hunters
yeah,
that we?
Bosk.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Bosk, right? That was his species, right?
Transocean. Yeah,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
Bosk is the name of the character, and then I think it's like, is it Transocean? I always get the some of the species mixed up, but I think it's Transocean, which are the lizards. Um, and then you had Sebulba species. You had a droid,
Yeah,
which
the one droid, it looked a little different, but it looked like that bug-eyed droid
yep,
that we see in Mandalorian, and then we also
yep,
see in Empire Strikes Back.
yep. So yeah, some of the guards were like different species that we were familiar with, and that was the other thing that I thought was really cool because like hearing it, what this show tells me is like a lot of times if you just have the sounds that you are familiar with in Star Wars, it can really make anything feel more Star Wars
Oh,
because
for
like
sure.
it really because if you're watching visually, it does not look like Star Wars. Even some of the music in this one, it wasn't as I mean, there were Asian elements to it or samurai elements to it, but there was definitely Star Wars soundtrack elements to it. So that kind of made me feel Star Wars, but really like the saber fighting, or the sound of the sabers, the blasters, the droids, like it really sets the tone that this is a Star Wars show, which really helped. Um, so yeah, that's the duel. And for those that you of you that don't know, season 3 will be released, I think, later this year. And this episode is actually getting a continuation in season 3. So I'm looking forward to seeing what the next story is for Ronan. All right, moving on to number 2, episode 2, Tatooine Rhapsody. Thoughts on this one?
Can we skip this one?
Yeah, this one was tough.
I mean, it was all right. I guess you
Can
see
we
a little
skip this one?
you see a little backstory of this young.
I I will tell you, and this isn't to scare you away, but that one isn't my least favorite of all A's. My least favorite is in the next group that you're going to be watching. So that just in my opinion. But yeah, this one is not the greatest.
It
Sorry,
just
continue.
it was different. I mean, I like the creativity, different, but it's just this young Jedi that gets taken in when he's trying to escape during. I mean, was it during like Order 66?
Post Order 66. Yeah. That's
And
the episode started with like Order 66.
and then he gets bumbles around and somehow lands on, I don't know if it was a ship or whatever, crashes through the ceiling. And
Yep, he
was it
fought, yep, of a ship.
was it I mean, whatever
The
Jabba
Hutt
Hutt's,
ship.
the Hutt ship. I don't know who that was.
Yep.
Was that like his nephew or cousin or second cousin, or I don't know.
I mean, it seemed like a younger Hutt, so it'd probably be like a nephew or yeah, like a second cousin or something, but it's some relative of the Hutts or Jabba the Hutt.
But somehow he owes like, then you jump all not too far in the future, but all of a sudden they have a rock band. I was like what the fuck am I watching?
And it's like some emo punk alternative rock band,
Yeah.
which
So,
the voices weren't even that good. Like I, I'm a big
did you
fan
say the
of
did you
Joseph
who's
Gordon-Levitt. Like
yeah, did you say was the young Jedi Gordon Joseph Levitt? Is that what you said
yeah,
when you
and
texted
I'm a
me?
big fan of his.
Oh
Yep,
yeah, me too. I love
yep.
him as an actor.
I'm a big fan of his, but
I
his
didn't realize
singing
that was
ability
his
in this
voice.
was not good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
And just
maybe don't sing in future Mr. Levitt, but um yeah,
it was
I was
cool to
more
see the
interested in
whole
like the start.
it was cool to
Oh, go
see
ahead,
the
sorry.
whole the like I said, we can try to get fast through this episode, but how they showed
Yeah,
the like the pod racing arena or whatever. You know what I'm talking
yeah,
about? Where they do
yep,
the final kind of like, oh, we made a deal with Jabba the Hutt that will perform, and then all of a sudden it was like a big concert almost, and I was like, what the fuck is going on here?
yeah,
And all of a sudden they were about to get X because it was like, what's your deal? You're
yeah,
gonna do what?
and it would make sense that like a venue like this for other entertainment would have something like this. Maybe not this type of music, I mean, maybe it would be more a Star Wars, type of band that we've seen before, not like a garage, what did I say, like grunge alternative rock band. But it would make sense that they would have other entertainment at racing stadiums outside of just like pod racing or whatnot. Um, but
But
yeah,
it's funny,
like
you know what they originally
their
were,
goal is to like at the end,
there for. How you
what? I
you
can't
originally
remember.
had that entire like kind of like where the started with the pod racing, but I can get what you're talking about. Like it's for
Yep,
it could be used for because you have all the seating and everything, and where Jabba comes out and
yep.
like his little whatever suite, like he's like Roger Goodell up there, like um it was for an execution. It was because they had the
Oh, that's
chain.
right, because it
They
was
had the
to
chains hanging
execute
there, and he was
the.
going to hang him and execute him.
Yeah,
Like
that's right.
you had that many people show up for an execution, and then it just turned into a alternative rock
Hey,
concert.
I mean, think of like Roman gladiators. I mean, that's what that was back in the day.
Yeah,
So this is
true.
like
Yeah,
their own little Tatooine Coliseum,
yeah,
executing a big,
yeah. Good point. Good point.
well, a little big hut. I guess. Um, but yeah, I really didn't need this. There were elements of it that I liked. I thought it was more interesting in the beginning. You have another Jedi that's fleeing Order 66, but like, I don't need something that's like, what was the lead asking like or trying to get a sponsorship from Jabba? It's like
Oh,
either I get a
yeah. At the very
sponsorship
end,
from
you want to
Jabba. Do you want to
sponsor
be our
us?
very sponsor? We're gonna be the best band in the galaxy. Like, come on, like okay, like slow down a little bit, little dude. But and like if you're a Jedi, do you want that kind of attention? Like, I don't think you want to be like the most well-known band in the galaxy if you're a Jedi trying to hide from Order
Yeah, you
66.
never know.
Like
It's good. It's the best camouflage. Who wants to go to this damn band?
the Inquisitors are going to be like, oh, I don't know. I don't want to kill this Jedi because I'm going to have Jabba on us now. Or I don't know. But I mean, and these aren't intended to be like serious by. I mean, some more serious than others. It's just supposed to be fun. Like you said earlier, they're all non-canon. Um, so I don't know. Maybe this is more for younger audiences or something. But hey, we got more Boba Fett. That was pretty cool. Everyone seemed like mini adults though, because like
Oh
even
no,
Boba
yeah, it
Fett
looked
was
weird. Yeah,
like shrunk, and even like the adults seemed like shrunk. So I don't know. It was kind of hard
that's a
to
good thing you
follow,
brought that
but
up because I thought that was super weird how everyone. I was like, because it sounded like the same voice actor of Boba Fett.
it was. It was.
Okay,
I think it
so
was Tamora
whatever his,
Morrison, isn't that? Yeah.
yeah, but I was like, but he looks like a kid. I'm like, but that armor wouldn't fit him as a kid if it was his dad's. Like, I was like, nothing adds up. So I was like, it's like okay, everyone's just short, I guess, but really adult. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Again, every episode, like I said before, has its own like unique animation, how they're doing it, I
Yeah.
guess. Yeah, I mean, the thing that just not in this episode wasn't continuous because then you go look at Jabba the Hutt up in his like suite. He looks huge.
Yeah.
Like you would expect. And I'm like, well, then
Right.
everybody else should be bigger than like what? I was like, whatever. Like again,
But
I'm
but then even like Bib Fortuna, his like translator guy, and the droid then
oh
also
yeah.
seemed kind of mini. So it's like
Yeah, yeah,
Jabba's
true, true.
probably more on par with being the right size, but then these other guys are like mini, so it's like throwing me off a little bit.
So again, this episode, yeah. For those listening and watching, you can probably skip this one. And then on top of that, he has lightsaber. He tries to use it, and it like doesn't work. Like how like years later, but he turns it into a
Yeah.
microphone. What the
Yeah.
fuck? Like that makes no
Yeah.
sense.
And And then like the only part that I did kind of chuckle at a little bit was when he pulls that out and then Boba Fett like raises his gun, like, what are you doing? And he's like, it's just a microphone.
Just the microphone. He like
Just a
twirls it
microphone.
too in his fingers, like
Because it's
microphone.
yeah. Well, because Boba Fett would be well familiar with like what lightsabers look like.
Oh
So he's
yeah,
probably
for
like, what the fuck
sure.
are you doing? Like, don't risk this, kid. And it's like, it's just a lightsaber. But then it's like, would Boba Fett take him at his word for that? Like, I don't know. Anyways, we'll move on to the next one.
The
So
twins.
episode 3, which the twins, um, so again, a different art style, different studio from the other two. What are your thoughts on this one?
Right away, like I was not surprised within like 2 minutes where this was going. Especially sometimes a title to an episode gives it away. So I was like, okay, the
Yeah.
twins. And then you saw the two Star Destroyers next to each other forming. I was like, okay, this seems like kind of like somewhat of an alter. Like to me, it's like it's an alternate kind of maybe reality if like this was Luke and this was Leia, is how I looked at
Okay.
it.
Sure.
Because like Luke had his droid that he didn't call it like it kind of looked like R2D2, but I forget what he called it, like Arto or
Or
something like that.
something. Yeah.
Something like that. But he was like pretending to be a bad guy, like, and they were trying to like make their own version of like the Death Star,
Yep.
and then they
Planet
would use
destroying technology. Yep.
like the kyber crystals to like absorb, and then they would like energize the weapon to be a planet killer. So,
Yep.
but it looked like kind of like all of a sudden turning like this Luke, because also nowhere you get an X-wing. They got an X-wing somewhere in R2 or whatever the
Yep.
R2 unit is taking that, and they're trying to fly off. The only thing I did not, I I'll go with it, but sometimes I'm a realist. It's like at one point the sister gets pissed because she's still kind of enraged in the dark side. She's outside in space, grabs the X-wing, and then they start this whole conflict in space. And I'm like,
Yep.
yeah, you'd be dead by now. What is this? Is this where the inspiration came from for Ryan Johnson that Leia in the one film just, Mary Poppins
Last
her
Jedi.
way back into the ship while she's
I,
like freezing?
I'm tr- I'm trying to remember when did this season get released? Let's see. 2021. So this would have been after
Yeah, it would have been after
Last
then.
Jedi.
Yeah. But you know what I'm saying? Like I was like, oh,
Yep.
okay. I'll go with it. The animation's
Yep.
kind of cool. Reminds me a little bit of different like kind of cartoons growing up, whether it's like, I don't know, different stuff that, you
Hmm.
know, between, you can imagine random stuff I watched growing as a kid. You had Digimon, you had Pokemon, you had Yu-Gi-Oh, you had all these different like kind of like this type
Yep.
of animation. And it kind of reminded me a little bit of that. I'm like, took me back a little bit to my childhood a little bit, but I was just like,
Sure.
still, I was like, let's be real here. This could never happen.
Right. Yep. No, you're not alone. I felt the same. Like I think those things too, like them out in space. It's like, um. So the
And
the way I looked at it is like,
how they're fighting and jumping, I'm like, where's the gravity coming from?
yeah, yep. And I mean, like, so the first episode was more of like a serious, like it seemed like a Star Wars story that we would see. It's just a different like art style. It's animation, anime,
Oh
black
yeah.
and white samurai. The second one was more of like I can see it being Star Wars. It's more for like a kid audience, you know, separated from like the stories that we know, just kind of for fun. This one is the one. This one they like. It's like they told the studio like do whatever you want, like exaggerate things as much as you want, just go crazy with it because like they really did. I mean, and to your point, in like some of the cartoons or animations you were speaking about, how they go to like extremes on things. I mean, I
Oh,
think of like
Dragon
Dragon
Ball.
Ball
Forgot
Z,
Dragon Ball Z. I forgot to bring that up. That's a hard
they
nut,
very
but
much
there's moments watching through this. I'm like, this feels like Dragon Ball Z a little bit, like just the way the animation like
yeah,
works.
make
Sorry,
it
but
very
keep going.
dramatic and very extreme. Um, so like this is like an episode of that. Like if someone was like, all right, do whatever you want with Star Wars, there are no limits, be dramatic, be extreme, do whatever you want. That's what this show was, or that's what this episode was. Um, I think it's fascinating you talk about the Luke and Leia thing because I was kind of thinking the same thing a little bit. I still don't know if I look at them as actually Luke and Leia in like an alternate universe, but I feel like it was definitely inspiration was pulled from Luke and Leia to these characters. It's like making the original Star Wars movie in a different way in an alternate universe, like you said. And even the guy, he definitely did look like Luke. It's like if
Yeah.
Luke wore Han Solo's outfit, that's that's who that was. With a lightsaber, of course. And interesting too that you mentioned the Leia Mary Poppins in space. They also pulled another thing from The Last Jedi, which is like using light speed to
Oh,
destroy like a destroyer. Except with this, it was he like blew not blew up, but I don't know, built enough power so his lightsaber was like freaking huge, the size of a star destroyer, and then he lines up and like flies underneath it and then goes into light speed just to cut it in half or whatever. So like I felt like there was definitely inspiration from The Last Jedi and when Hodo Admiral Hodor I forget. I always want to say hold the door like
Hodor
the
from Game
yeah,
of
I
Thrones.
always want to say that, but I think
Hodor.
it's Holdo. It's Holdo. Um what she does to the First Order Kylo Ren ship by flying light speed through it. So it's very similar feeling to that. Um, yeah, and they like mixed Grievous with like Darth Vader because like the sister, so she had two lightsabers, and then she had those like arm devices that like ended up creating like lightsabers as well. So she had like six lightsabers twirling around at once. And I don't know if they were like whips or actual sabers because I felt like at one point he had a saber and they like wrapped around his saber or something. So I
Oh
don't know.
yeah, no,
Again,
yeah,
just
you're right.
taking a lot of
Because yeah, it was whips, and then he comes out because I think the X-wing I think might have crashed or but they were outside, but then he put the because they had the crystal, but I like cracked in half or something, and she took one, but then
yep,
he still had part of the crystal, kyber crystal, and put it into like a old lightsaber or something and charged it up, and then all of a sudden like like again it's space and smoke. No, there's no smoke in
yep,
space. It disintegrates fast. But then he comes out of the smoke and
right.
it's all whipped around his lightsaber, and then he like chops it down. But then the her lightsabers like regenerate, and it's just all these whips, and everything was just so far fetched. I was like, okay, this is getting a little cartoonish. Like,
Yeah, it definitely was. It was extreme. So just another take, another studio's perspective on Star Wars, I guess. Again, it's good that it was non-canon. Um, I'm glad these were all non-canon because that's where they need to stay. Um, should we move on to the next one?
yeah, for sure, definitely.
Sounds
Let's see.
sounds good. Yeah, and I think apologies, I think there's a little bit of a delay. So Bogie, if you're hearing on your end, don't worry, just continue.
Yeah,
But I
I've been
think there's a
noticing
little bit
that
of
too in
a
the last like 10 minutes. A little bit of a
yeah,
delay
it's,
between us
it's
two.
little yeah, we were talking about delays and voices, and now we're having our own delays.
But that,
Um,
everything works just fine
yeah,
when we shoot the shit before we start the episode.
right. And then once
It
we
always
start getting
works that
into
way,
our actual content, then the issues start.
right? So yeah, the next one, what? The
So maybe
Village Bride.
our lesson learned to us, maybe we should just like start right away with the recording and then we'll shoot the shit afterwards.
Yeah. But yeah, after recording,
Yeah.
usually we're
So
usually
episode 4, The Village Bride.
no, sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, no, they're good. So episode 4, Village Bride, I'll let you take it. What are your thoughts on that one?
The first part of the no, I'm trying to remember this one, but the first part of it was like kind of slow.
Yep, it was.
Um,
It was just like a build up to the actual like wedding, which with the story was, I mean, a little bit relevant, but the main like story doesn't really start until like halfway through the episode.
right. Because was it like a was it a tribe and whoever like he's like carrying her up these stairs, right? And they're the ones that get married, but he has to carry her.
Yeah, I
I
think it
was
was
like,
like
what the?
customary.
I was like, I don't know,
Yep.
is this taking off some sort of other culture I'm not aware of that has to do this? I'm like, it's hard pass. Unless you found someone that was
It might
like,
be. It might be.
unless you found someone that was like half your size, but still walking up, walking up all those
So note to
stairs.
self, it
Like I say, like,
choose wisely.
we got a wedding tomorrow, and
Choose.
I just threw up my back.
So in this culture, if you're getting married and you're the male and it's customary for you to carry your bride to be up a mountain, you might want to choose wisely of who your bride will be, because if you don't make it up the mountain, it seems like you're not getting married.
I'd be the person to be like, does it come with one of those like the handicap where like it like it's like a like you
Oh, the
sit in it,
elevator like up the
it
stairs
goes
type
up
thing.
the
Yeah.
stairs. Like hop on.
Or where's the gondola for this mountain? Like, can I ride the tram up the
Oh
mountain
yeah,
instead?
there's that. Yeah. Is this a ski resort? Can we just jump on
Yeah.
that? Go up?
Where's the closest ski resort? Dang it, this seems like a tropical island mountain. I'm out of luck.
Right? I'm trying to remember this one because it definitely did not stick well, but I did like the one.
Yeah, I mean, they
Was
were just building up.
you there, Mudge? I
Go
think you
ahead.
did you freeze? I think you froze.
Oh, I hear you.
You hear me
I
now?
got you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Is
Yep, I can hear you.
was the kind of what do you want to call it? The protagonist. She had the hood on like the whole time. Then you find out she's a
Yep,
Jedi.
yep.
What did you say? What was this an episode that's gonna have a continuation or not?
No, not that I
No.
don't, not that I know of.
And then
The next
who?
one we talk about is one of the continuation ones.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. The I'm trying to remember who the antagonist was. Like who's the bad guy in this?
Um, was it someone from the Empire? I'm trying to remember. I can picture him. He's like
Again,
was he
this
old and like bald?
again this episode just did
Let
did
me
not stick in my head very well. It was just kind of
All right, I'm going to read the synopsis here. On a remote planet, an explorer named Valko explains to his guest, a former Jedi Padawan named F, interesting name, the connection of villagers to the planet's environment. The village chief's granddaughter, Haru, and her fiance, Asu, have their wedding, but the next day she must surrender herself as collateral to a group of bandit raiders who have reprogrammed old separatist battle droids. So it was separatists. So it was a separatist leader who is the villain, to take control of the planet. Haru's sister Saku tries to fight the bandits, but just as she is about to be executed, F cuts her Padawan braid, removes her mask, and declares herself a Jedi. With the aid of Valko, she intervenes defeat the bandits, and then bids farewell to the villagers and departs the planet. Does that help ring a bell?
A little bit, yeah, because I remember we had some dumb moments once again. You guys had warned me about Clone Wars. There were some like with the droids. I remember I now I kind of rings a bell a little bit of
Yeah, yeah,
there was moments where these uh the old Federation droids, they're
yeah,
so dumb. And I think one made a
yeah. Like
comment,
that
another one
grenade
made a
gets thrown in, they're
comment.
like, "Oh!"
Yep, yep.
and it lands, and one walks over and like picks it up, and it's like explodes. It's like,
As I was
come
like,
on.
yep. But again, this one did not land very well for me, at least. I mean, again, all these have really interesting like animation styles that keeps me intrigued, but the story is what maybe lacks in some of these episodes. So
Yeah,
that's
yeah. No,
that's kind of
I
where.
definitely agree. Yeah,
But yeah.
I actually thought this one was okay, but I agree that like the first half was, I don't know, kind of a snoozer. It just wasn't as necessary. But then once the fighting outside the droids portion of it, like then it got cool. I thought it was I thought it was pretty cool. The Jedi's like partner, what was his name? Valko or something like that. Had that helmet that came up and it had like a little neck contraption that like lifted the helmet off of him. It's like that would be something very useful for helmets like that, because that helmet's probably pretty heavy. So if it's laying on resting on you, it's probably not comfortable. But if you have this like brace that supports it and can raise it up, and that's pretty cool. He kind of looked like a Teutonic Knight from Age of Empires 2 or something like
Oh
that, but
yeah, with that like
in
can helmet,
Jedi.
or he's
Yeah,
from
exactly.
Monte Python and the Holy Grail,
Oh yeah.
the
Oh yeah.
galloping with the but then he fights that knight that has that square, and then he keeps slicing his
Yep.
like limb and limb. He's like, "You're armless." He's like, "It's just a flesh wound," and he starts to kick him.
None shall pass. Or what?
No,
Yeah. What is this? I move for no man.
that's a
That
great classic, and I
that's
still
a
love the
classic.
scene when uh the one guy's like kind of like trying to like, or there's two scenes. There's one scene where they're trying to like guide him through the like whatever passageway to get to the castle, whatever. And he's like, but there's this beast. And they're like, what? And then they look at the cave and it's just a little rabbit. He's like, look at the teeth. Look at the ear. Look at the bones. And there's like carcasses everywhere. And they're like, it's just a rabbit.
Yeah.
And then they jump up there and they try to, let's fight. And then all of a sudden the rabbit's like
Yeah.
flying through the air, just like eating everyone alive. Like,
Yeah.
retreat, retreat.
Yeah. And
And
the
then
guy's like, it's over there. And they're like, behind the rabbit. No, it is the rabbit.
the second part is that scene where they're at the castle, the two guards, and they like look in the distance, and it's the main. He's like running, and he's like, and then it goes back, and he's like, the drums are like like rumbly, like boom, 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 and he's like running, running, running,
And
for
it's
like
just replaying the same scene, same clip for a little bit.
for like four or five times, and then out of nowhere, he's like comes out of nowhere,
Yeah.
ah, and he kills him.
Yeah, that is a classic for sure. People either love that movie or hate that movie, and I'm in team love that movie. I think it's great.
I
It's
mean,
kind of
there's
like
definitely.
Napoleon Dynamite. People either love or hate that movie.
I hated Napoleon Dynamite the first time watching it. Everyone
So
told me,
many people say that. It's interesting.
and everyone's
The more
like
you watch it, the better it gets it.
every time, yeah, everyone watch it one more time, and I watched it a second time. And I'm like, okay, okay, that was funny. And then like every time I watch it, I'm like laughing my ass off.
um, the only other thing I that I noticed from this episode, speaking of that helmet and that guy, so he takes his helmet and it's like a rocket, right? and it goes
Yeah.
up into the ship and like explodes. But then he has the helmet again at the end of the episode.
I thought the same thing.
I'm
Yeah. I
like,
was like,
do you just have like
spare
a
helmets?
slew spare helmets of this like in your like ship or something like that? Because you definitely just exploded that thing. How do you have it back?
I wonder if they do some sort of like they were thinking of the concept because sometimes I always thought that too with like between Jango Fett and Boba Fett with the rocket on his jetpack when they would use the rocket. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Like
Yep.
next scene, it's he's reloaded it again. I'm like, how many of those do you got? And where do you keep them stored? It's
Yeah.
like
I don't get
I'm
it.
sure those
It
aren't
doesn't
cheap.
make sense.
Yeah,
No. Well, at least
and
like Boba Fett probably has some money, or Jango Fett probably has money to spare. This kind of wandering explorer, I don't know how much money he has for all these explosive helmets. So
yeah,
it was
valid point. Yeah,
just something I'm like, okay. Again, we're I'm sure we're nitpicking all this stuff, but that's kind of the fun of Star Wars too, in my eyes. So just something I noticed. Should we move on to the ninth Jedi, the fifth episode?
yes, this was my favorite. I mean, I'm only through
This
five,
one
but
was
this was
very
my
well
favorite.
done. Yeah, this one was really good. And it was actually, I think, one of the longest ones of this season too. So I'm
Yeah,
glad that they spent more
I have it.
time on this episode.
Yeah, I have it up. Like every episode's like 15 minutes, and this one
I
was
think
actually
this
tw
one's 20.
25 minutes. So another, I mean, granted credits.
Oh,
So like this,
25 minutes.
so say like another
Yeah.
like 8 minutes, let's say, of runtime.
Yep.
I wonder if this
But
was like a mid-season or not, or if I don't know. I don't know
well,
how
they were
they.
all released at the same time. So um yeah, I don't know
Oh,
how
they
they
just did like
chose.
like a dump, just
Yep.
all the whole season.
Yep. I don't know how they choose like who gets how much time or whatnot. And I'm trying to think back to early discussions about the show before it was released. Maybe it was said that this was supposed to be like a two episode, like a two episode.
Like a
So
two-parter.
maybe like two-parter, and then they combined it into one. I can't remember, but I vaguely remember something like that. So maybe that's why it was longer. But
Now you said this episode though, there's gonna be a continuation.
continuation.
Yep.
Yep, in season 3 of Visions. So I'm definitely looking forward to that one. This one to me just had a very well developed story, had a twist. I know when you texted me about it, you're like, you did not see that twist coming at all, and I didn't either. So the story writing for this one was fantastic, very captivating. Um, you had some good saber fights, had everything Star Wars that you would want. It even had trebuchets that shot up into space to get resources. Do you remember seeing that? Those like
Yeah.
trebuchets that launched into like the orbiting rings of the planet or whatnot. Like that was freaking cool. Had a little humor in it that the droid pilot that girl goes to get, that I'm on my break. Find
And
another
they're
one, find another droid, and they're
all the
all
other ones
like
are dead. They're all just
broken down or something. It's like find someone else.
what is he like smoking something?
I don't like. I was wondering if it's like if it's Steam related, like
Because you
it,
just sit there. It's like I'm on my break. Like you would think like I'm on my break. Like that's
like
what I
check
felt. I'm like, what a droid smoking? Like I don't know. I thought it was funny.
right. And then she pulls out a coin, like, here, I'll give you this, please do it. And he's like, might as well. Just he's like barely walking over to the ship, and she's
And
like, let's need to go. They're
she's
after me, and she's pushing
pushing
him.
him. Get going.
So I thought there was like some humor elements to this episode too, but some very fascinating perspectives for Star Wars too. So like with this episode, it starts and there's like a collection of people that were led to believe are like Jedi that are supposed to meet um this person who is sent for them. Um, and I think we're all led to believe like they're hunting down Sith or something like that, and it's Jedi coming together. Um, and then we move to a sabersmith who is creating these like lightsabers that I think they did
He,
they
he
reference
he's
them as being illegal?
he's he's a Jedi.
Yeah, he's a Jedi.
That's how he knows how
But
to.
he's like a black or a sabersmith
Yeah. Yep.
to build them. But did they reference them as being illegal sabers? So that's why they're like hush hush about them. I thought I heard someone mention illegal sabers, but anyway, so he's building these lightsabers for these Jedi, and his daughter is like playing around with one of them,
Like
and
like
it's like she notices there's no like true color to it. It's almost like see-through, a little gray, but see-through, and then the size can change. And then he says that the color and the size or shape of the lightsaber is based upon the wielder. So like go ahead.
that's the part that lost me for a second. Depend on the wielder.
Really? I
No,
thought
no,
that was
no, 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 no.
fascinating.
The size or shape depends on the wielder. Okay, I'm getting inappropriate right now, but no, no, that's just like when she had it like the thing was like up to the ceiling. I was like, damn. And all of a sudden I was like, oh, that's Novak. Oh. But
So
no,
you were taking it a certain
I'm taking it
direction
a different angle. When I saw that,
when you
I
heard it
was like,
interpreted.
I'm being inappropriate right now. But when I saw that, I just couldn't stop laughing. I was like, they put that in this show? I'm like, okay, you could take this in a different way and get a good laugh out of it.
That's fair. That's
But no, but all
that's
jokes.
fair. Maybe like not say the size or the shape or whatever, but maybe the color, maybe that's a better just
Yes,
keep it to
yeah,
color
yeah.
changes
But
based off of there.
how they brought the size though, I was like, okay, you didn't really need to do that, but okay, sure. Like you never see that. That's why this is not this is why this is not canon. You never see a lightsaber turn into a dagger or turn
Right,
into
right,
uh the sword that come out of the stone. Like it's that's stick to the color. Like if
right.
because that's what hit because that's her father, right? Is the
Yeah, that's my understanding is it's her father.
and tells her like if you're force sensitive, the color tells you, which I've heard through lore and some of the stuff I've read, is that like the color kind of represents your kind of style of your force like sensitivity
Hmm.
of wielding it. Something like green is like you're more kind of like attuned to the force. Blue
Yeah,
is something blue has something
I
to
think
do with like a warrior and sensitive, but like kind of like the mix of both. And then purple is actually like you're kind of which the only person we know that has purple is Mace Windu, but you're kind of flirting with the dark side, but you
yeah,
can still maintain your presence on the light side. I don't know.
yeah,
I've watched many things. Maybe I could be wrong, but that's but I wish they just stuck to that versus watching the lightsaber do this. I was like, what the hell? But
yeah.
anyways,
Well, and I think that color designation was more later on um affiliated with Star Wars. Um because like if I remember correctly, the only reason like a green lightsaber got introduced like with Luke Skywalker was based upon like the the technology. Like the blue lightsaber wasn't going to work well for however they were producing the film, so they had to come up with another color and they chose green. um so I wonder if like if George Lucas originally had his way, if all lightsabers would be blue for, you know, Jedi and all red lightsabers are for Sith. Who knows? um but anyways, back to this episode. So they produce, so you have this blacksmith who's making these, or the sabersmith who's a Jedi who's creating these lightsabers. And then there's people after him that work for, do they work for the people that are in that space meeting? I won't reveal it yet, but who sent those um I don't know, bounty hunters or whatever? Do you remember?
I mean,
That destroyed his home?
does it all just tie back to the Empire?
I'm trying to remember. No, I'm curious. Hold
Because
on.
I can't remember who sent them, but
I'm looking up. Let's see. Episode 5. Finishes construction, lights him, including one of them. She flees with her. No, it doesn't say. But anyways,
what
they have it probably ties back to the Empire, I would have to imagine. Um, so he gives the sabers to his daughter who flees with them. She doesn't know she's fleeing, she just thinks she's taking him. And then their house gets attacked by these, I don't know, mercenaries or whatnot, and start chasing her. And she flees to this council and who she thinks are Jedi and Jedi Ethan. That's an interesting Jedi name. Um, and he, and then I'll let you, because you're watching this. I'll let you take it.
because she ends up dropping like because who's the other who's the guy? I'm trying to remember who the guy
Sorry, I'm getting slow internet connections signals
no
again.
worries. I'm trying to remember who the guy was.
Which guy?
Like the younger teenage, maybe aged. Because in the end, it was like
The
it was
Ethan
her.
guy?
Who's that? Which guy?
Ethan? It
Oh,
was like a
Ethan.
Jedi Padawan kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the daughter shows up, right? Or the daughter of
Yep.
this blacksmith shows up and
Yep.
um because he was the one he showed up last, right? Because he like, oh, I got this like he's got this like message thing that came in, and then
Message.
all the other like
Yep.
Jedis were like, oh yeah, we got the same message too, and then that's when you get this like droid that comes out of nowhere and it's got red eyes and you think it's bad and everything. And I was like, oh, this doesn't look good. This was like
Yep.
looks like a trap. Like like we talked about in like all
Yep.
the different like shows and everything. It's like why Obi-Wan and Yoda like right at the end of um the Revenge of the Sith went to change the codex so that it would tell the Jedi stay away. So it was like, okay,
Right.
is this like another trap? Only to find the twist because like the guy in the droid is actually you see this giant droid and you think it's just a droid, but actually someone that
Yep.
jumps out of the droid is actually a person and it's actually a light. It's like a light user. But then at the
Yep.
point they also because we talked about before when again we can't remember the name of these characters, but the little girl like the younger gal lady when she grabbed the
Yep. The
lightsaber
daughter.
it didn't have a color. It's like she's like, oh, I guess I'm not force sensitive yet. It doesn't want to, which was a different take because I thought all kyber crystals should already have its color and it calls to you, I guess, or
Right.
whatever. Anyways, it didn't have a
Yep.
color. But when her father grabbed the lightsaber, it turned blue. So that's when I knew, like, of course, he's got to be a Jedi then, because it called to his force
Yep.
sensitivity of what
Yep.
his color was. So, anyways, he jumps out and then he grabs one of the doesn't he grab a light like because all of a sudden like she brought all those lightsabers that her dad made and they all grabbed it
Yep.
and then when they light it up they're all red, which showed
Yep.
like their heart is like they're the dark side. So it was actually a reverse
Yep.
trap.
Which was
And
a
then
twist because, yep.
because like the guy that jumped out of the droid with red eyes, he like takes off his mask and you see he's looks like Obi-Wan. He's got blue eyes, like hair and
Yep.
everything. and then he lights his lightsaber up, and it's blue. I think it's blue or no green. I think, and it looks like a sword almost. I think if I remember right, I can't remember, but
Yeah,
anyways,
you're right. It was green and it had like a little circle, like um towards the handle had like a guard that was a circle, I remember, and
and it was like
it was
a
that color.
skinny. It was like skinny too, right? But it
Yep,
looked like a sword, which goes
yep,
back to the whole samurai kind of like
yep.
aspect that this show has been bringing on. And then that's when like the two other characters were kind of like, what the heck is going on? And then all of a sudden the whole like
Hmm.
they get in a whole lightsaber battle. Um, was the guy that come out of the droid? He was a Jedi master, right?
At least I don't know specifically if he was a master, but he was definitely someone more skilled. He was a very skilled Jedi, very
Yeah,
powerful Jedi.
because he took out practically everybody, or at least half
He
that
took out a
crew
fair amount. Yeah,
until
because
the
I think
until
at one point he was fighting three versus one.
yeah, which was like a fun animation duel fight. And then
Yep, yep,
the other two kind of like jumped in when they did, which I liked. Then the daughter, the lightsaber that didn't really have color, finally changed to was it green, I think.
yep. Hers changed to green.
Which like again, it goes back to whether it's lore or not, but things I've read that green lightsabers means you're very knowledgeable of the Force, more so than someone with blue.
Yeah, yep.
Blue is more of a
Yeah, and it
knowledgeable
was
of
also interesting at
go ahead.
the same time hers was turning green. The person she was dueling at that time, that tall, like beast looking guy, his was changing from red to purple.
To purple,
So he was
which
like, yep, he was coming back to the light side as she was getting stronger in the force at that time.
which which I loved because like exactly what I said before with Mace Windu when I talk about colors of lightsabers, they say purple means you're teetering on the side of dark side, but you know how to maintain it and be still on the light, but like
Sure,
your techniques and force abilities are still questionable of being dark side-ish, if that makes sense. I don't know. Have you ever
sure.
heard what that means when
Yep.
it comes to like colors of lightsabers and what your kind of like the meaning of who you are as a force user?
Yeah, I can't remember off the top. I have. I think you're because I think blue are more. I mean, not to say that Jedi aren't really trained to fight. I mean, they are, but they aren't. Their purpose isn't to fight. It's more for protection reasons. But I feel like blue, if I recall, are more like um knowledgeable with like saber fighting and defense and stuff like that. Green is more knowledge. Um, Purple, to your point, is kind of like teetering on the dark side. Yellow is affiliated with temple guards, so they're
Yeah.
more um like purists, I guess you could say, to the temples or to the Jedi way. I can't remember the others, but I,
And then
again,
red is just a your kyber crystal you like use
yes,
like
you bleed it.
when you're corrupt you like crack the crystal and that's
Yep,
what
it's
makes
called
the crystal
bleeding. Yep,
bleeding.
bleeding the
Yep.
the crystal. Yeah, I'm you say that I'm going to look it up now because I'm curious. Color, lightsaber, color meanings. I'm
And then
hoping
like
for
yeah,
like a
we have
quick
orange
synopsis.
that we had in Ahsoka, which
Yep,
means like you're not a Jedi, you're not a dark user, you're just kind of like a freelancer, I guess, if you want to call it that.
sure. I'm looking it up. Okay, red is dark side users must bleed their crystals and bend them to their will, similarly to how they bond the will of the Force. Okay, blue, symbol of a Jedi who is more attentive to the Force on a physical level, generally a symbol of a guardian of the Order. So they're more fighters, I guess you could say. Orange, a Force user who had a deep connection to the Force, though will never partake in combat unless truly necessary. Indigo, a Force user who is a mix between a blue and a purple lightsaber user. Okay. Yellow.
Nice explanation.
But yeah, that's like we don't know what to say, so we're gonna say it's in between these two. Yellow, a Force user who is focused less on the Force and more on the other traits such as scholarly pursuits or practical skills, often symbol of a sentinel, which yeah, that on par with like a temple guard. Purple, a Force user who is occasionally uses abilities from the dark side of the Force without being engulfed by its darkness. Boy, this is getting to like even yellow green, a mix between okay. Yellow
Yellow
green, a mix
green?
between a yellow and green lightsaber Force user. Stop it.
Have we ever
Uh
seen a yellow green?
I-
Where are we?
Good question. Green, a Force user who had a deep connection to the Force and chose to use it through Force abilities more often than fighting with a lightsaber. Black, possibly a Force user who brings balance unity between a species race and the Force. Not sure about this one. Blah blah blah. Okay. White, a lightsaber which has been healed from being bled using the dark side. Ooh. So when Ahsoka has white lightsabers, those were formerly red. Interesting. Now this is just one site's interpretation. So
I'll have to do some homework, Mudge. I mean, I got the book.
there you go. There you go.
It's like the Jedi Bible. I'll see if I can find some more insight of whatever it says in here about Jedi lightsaber
Specific lore
colors.
to saber color. I like it.
Or what are you looking that up? You looking up on
Yeah, so
Wikipedia?
they
Wikipedia.
n-
That's the
wha-
best site to look up
no,
stuff.
I just looked no that it is. I just looked up lightsaber color meanings and then I picked the one that seemed to have the most information,
Oh, gotcha.
but I don't so I mean I don't know if it's true lore or not, but I have to imagine if it's posted there, it's at least close to what is considered lore, which is kind of on par to what we were saying about each one, though, too.
Yeah.
So yeah, these Sith spring a trap and are fighting Ethan, the Sabersmith's daughter, and this other Jedi that was hiding in this droid. And they essentially defeat all of them. The one ends up turning back to the light side, and which this one was pretty violent because
Yeah.
like the first Sith that gets taken out just gets split in half by
Oh,
um the
yeah.
I'm like, oh damn, like okay,
Literally
this,
split in half.
we're not holding back here. And then the last one that dies essentially just gets like burned, incinerated by whatever that like mirror thing was. You remember what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah.
And like
Yeah, that
blue
was brutal.
fire like starts engulfing him. Like, oh man, this is pretty graphic for like a cartoon. But come to find out, he knew, if I remember correctly, you probably are more remember this better than I do, but the the powerful Jedi guy, he knew that these Sith had been like following the Jedi from the message that he was sending. So he did this in terms of being a trap to bring them all here so he could take them out, so he could find the Sith and destroy them. Um, but he couldn't help her father, the sabersmith, because if he would go to her, they would find him and kill him essentially. Am I and kill her too? So he didn't go to their aid for that reason. But now that they've destroyed these Sith now, which is probably going to be the continuation story in season 3, they're going to go look for her father. Am I remembering that correctly?
Yeah, because it was like part of that, and then like before the whole conflict even started, because like I think few of this like the Sith if you want to call it that, started attacking the main Jedi, and then the one that had like a cloak over her mouth or something, she like looked down at the blacksmith's daughter. It's like,
Hmm.
we have your father, and we're taking him off world, and you'll never find him again, or something
Yep.
like that. Kept pretty much telling her just give up. Um,
Yep.
and then that's where the fight kept going. And then when they all were defeated, there was, yeah, like you said, there was some sort of dialect of like, we'll find him type thing.
Yep. I think she asked that Jedi to help her find her father, and he said he would.
And then kind of just like, and then the episode kind of just like, we will, and then it just kind of ended. And you're like, okay,
Ended.
this is a cliffhanger. You gotta have another
Yep.
episode.
We
So,
gotta
like you said, if there's gonna
we
be
gotta
another
figure out what
episode,
happens.
thank God. Like, because this was going through. I mean, it's only been five of the two seasons. I'm gone through the first five episodes of the whole, but the fifth one's probably my favorite.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think I told you through text, like my favorites are number or episode 1, 5, and 7, which is the 7 is the elder,
Okay.
which I told you that the voice of the master Jedi in that one is Hopper from Stranger Things.
Oh yeah. Yep. Yep.
So that's kind of cool. Getting a prominent actor like that to voice one of the characters. But going back to towards the beginning of us talking about visions, we mentioned like subtitles and having to go back.
Oh
And
yeah.
what I did it for this is when the powerful Jedi guy comes out of um the droid and the others reveal that they're have red lightsabers and that they're Sith. And then the guy that gets cut in half, he says to him, uh, what I didn't know what he said, but they said acolytes. They are acolytes of the Sith and like follow the dark side. And I'm like, oh, acolytes. Like this is sounding like, you know, the acolyte, the show. Like this is connecting to that a little bit. But this predates the acolyte. So I'm wondering where the influence came from, which was first. I mean, did they have the idea for the acolyte show or did this episode get released before that?
Huh. Interesting.
I'm assuming, is that what you,
No,
what did you go back?
there was another scene. I can't remember what it was, but I like. And again, I'm getting really frustrated with like Disney Plus. Like, you know how Hulu and Disney Plus are gonna like combine.
Yeah.
Like, I think is it Hulu that's going away, and it just everything's gonna be on Disney Plus, just like everything on one net,
Yeah.
like one.
Yeah. That
But I've been having problems like
I would have to assume.
when I rewind it, it like it like clocks and then it just freezes. And I'm like,
Mm.
what the hell? And then
Oh,
I like back out, try to get back in, and then it just sits there and I just see like this like the loading line or whatever. And I'm like, okay, it's not working. Because I had that happen. I don't know if you were a fan of King of the Hill.
I mean, I've watched it. I don't know if I would call myself a fan of it, but I'll
Okay.
watch it from time to time.
They just released like they brought the show back.
They brought it back. Yep.
Yeah. And I got stuck on one episode right because I hit pause right when the commercial break was gonna start,
Okay.
and that just ruined that episode because like I was
Oh,
pressing pause to go, I had to go do something and then come back and sit down and then I hit play and it just sits there and just load and I'm like, what is it doing?
yeah.
And then it gets me an error message. So um, but yeah, to go back, I don't recall what it was. And then I was like, it's not worth rewinding because I was like, I don't
Sure.
want to risk it like stalling out
Doing what happened there. Yep.
and then like having to like rewind, turn on subtitles just to listen to the one phrase and then turn it back off. I don't know. To me, I was like, whatever.
Yeah.
I did rewind it like once just to hear it
Yeah.
again. I'm like, I still don't know what she said. I'm pretty sure it was in the Village Bride episode. something was said. I was like, what did she say?
Oh, okay.
I think it was like at one point she like, yeah, it was.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it was Village Bride. She like turned because she still had like her mask and the cloak on,
Mask
and
on.
she turned
Yep.
around and said something. I'm like, what the fuck did she say? I'm like in um Endor with ET's mom. Huh? What'd you say?
That's funny. Um, but yeah, so I just thought it was interesting that they called out or that they used the term acolyte. Because I really haven't heard that in Star Wars outside of the acolyte show. I mean, it probably pops up somewhere else, but not really that I'm familiar with. So I thought I heard the term acolyte. I'm like, did he say that? So then I rewound it and I tried to hear it and I still couldn't tell. So then I put the subtitles on and then sure enough, it said acolytes. Um, so, and the other thing that, and I know it doesn't really matter because these are non-canon and they're just telling their own stories and aren't really necessarily affiliated with the Star Wars that we know. But like my mind always goes right away to like where in the timeline does this stuff fall? So I would just like where is this in that like High Republic era, where acolytes are potentially known? Or is this like later on? Because it seems like Jedi have been kind of wiped out. I don't know. It might be like post Order 66. Who knows? So that's just the struggle I have too, is just like trying to find where everything falls. But again, I mean, for what it is, I've enjoyed this show. And I mean, like you have 4 episodes left in this season, and you have all 9 episodes of season two. They're definitely, like, to warn you, they're hit and miss, in my opinion. There's going to be some really good ones, and there's going to be some ones that you're like, "Ah, did I really need to watch that?" But I'm glad that they're using this type of forum to take those like risks. I'd rather see it in like this non-canon kind of story platform that, you know, if something hits, then maybe go from it. I mean, I texted you earlier today that they wrote a book, to follow the
The Ronin.
episode one, the duel, and it's called Ronin. So that means that there must have been success that was seen in this episode in terms of viewership. So they're like, all right, let's write a book. And now in season three, they're going to do a continuation story. So it's a good testing ground to see like what certain elements might work or what storylines grab interest from Star Wars fans and which ones aren't. So, maybe having something that's about a band member in you know Star Wars isn't really captivating to people, but some wanderer whose identity, whether being a Sith or Jedi, is unknown, who's killing Sith, is drawing interest from fans. So okay, let's follow this. So I think it's a good testing ground, but doesn't need to be canon. So how about your final thoughts on what you've seen so far overall with Visions?
I think you hit everything. You know, hit the nail on the head of everything about it. It's hit or miss. But I do enjoy, like I said before, each episode seems to be, I mean, definitely its own story, but also its own like way of doing animation.
Yep.
Like we talked about the first episode, it's like mostly black and white with like kind of like
Yeah.
this weird kind of like how it like the smooth rate and the etch work and everything, but then how it like illuminates as soon as like the different colors, like I said, the red lightsaber, and you brought up like different colors, like will illuminate kind of like to bring out a little bit more of the story of
Hmm.
what's going on. And then like the other ones, like I wouldn't say any of the episodes were, well, maybe let me relook. I mean, the Tatooine Rhapsody would probably be a not that was probably my least favorite of what I've seen so far.
You'd throw that one out.
Yeah,
You'd
I'd
be
throw
like, we
that
don't
one
need
out.
this one.
But I mean everything else was still had elements that I enjoyed. So
Yeah.
far I would say I'm enjoying it. And especially when I got done with the ninth Jedi. I know you had asked me like how much further did you get? And I was like, I need to take a time out because I want to finish on a good note right now because I really
Yeah.
enjoyed
Yeah.
that episode. I know you told me the Elder, but I was like, oh, so I gotta go through six. I'm guessing episode six, TOB1.
Which is also Toby.
Okay, so I'm guessing probably not good. So I was like, I'm just gonna leave it. I'm just gonna leave it on a good note for the podcast. And I'm like, 5 episodes is good enough to have some content to
I'm
listen.
glad you stopped there. I'm glad you stopped there. I mean, I'll reveal more when after you watch, and I'll give you my opinions. But if there's a stopping point, that's a good stopping point if you're gonna break them up. Um, I I will say I think you brought up a great point. You know, you're talking about the art styles, and them being stories in these art styles. I think as Star Wars fans, and being you know on Disney Plus within the Star Wars franchise content, as Star Wars fans, we look at this and we're like, all right, this is a Star Wars story in this animation. But I think the better way to look at it, which is probably from the art studio's approach, is no, this is this art studio doing a story in Star Wars. And I think there is a difference there, meaning like the priority in this show is the art styles and then them telling a story in Star Wars settings versus it being a Star Wars story in this art element. Does that make sense? The
Yeah.
distinguishment between the two. So I think
Yep.
that you talking about that made that pop in my mind. And I think that's a great point. And like for season 3, that's how I'm going to approach it is like remember it as being the art studio style first. And then I'll see if that like changes my perspective of how I see it. So it's not like I should look at it like if it's, let's say, Dragon Ball Z art style. I need to look at it as this is a Dragon Ball Z story in a Star Wars setting. So, um, great point. Great point that you brought up. Well, man, holy cow, it's 12. It's amazing how fast we can talk or how fast the time can fly by as we're talking about this. Also doesn't help the delays we had. So again, apologize for any delays. I know there were some hiccups within like reception and everything. So listeners, apologize to that. It's gonna make editing fun, or I'm just gonna be like, screw it, like just listen to it how it is. It'll take too long to edit all that. But hopefully you were able to, our listeners are able to grasp the things we were talking about. Um, I don't know if we'll dive into it, but maybe we'll set the stage. So currently, Bogie and I are trying to find ways to integrate uh, the time of year being football and fantasy football time and building a Star Wars like fantasy football team, doing a draft of certain characters or any characters in the Star Wars universe and putting them up against each other to see like who comes up with a better team in a draft of Star Wars characters. What we are basing the betterness on, we don't know yet. We're figuring that out, or maybe there is nothing. But maybe we'll just pick our team and we'll be like, all right, who ends up winning? Um, but we'll put some more thought into that in the upcoming week and share it when we have more details. And I know there was also a trailer released for the sequel to Lego Star Wars Rebuild the Galaxy. This one is called what? I have it down here. Pieces of the Past. So if you haven't seen the first 4 episodes, I think it's 4 episodes, Lego Star Wars Rebuild the Galaxy, it's pretty good. Um, it's very humorous and better than people might think it is. Any of the Star Wars Lego, they're pretty good. This is supposed to be released all episodes on September 19th. Like I said, the trailer's already been released. So Bogie and I in the next couple of days are going to do a little trailer reaction to that when we have time, and we'll share that out at that time. One other news item I'm going to call out, and you brought this to my attention, Bogie, with the Star
I was
Wars
just gonna bring that up.
Starfighter. Yeah, yeah, go for it. Take it.
No, just know little about this, but Star Wars Starfighter. Now, is this a show? Like
No, movie.
animated or like
No,
live
it's
action?
live action movie from what I know.
I'll like you probably know more. I just came across it randomly. I'm like, do you know about this? So maybe you know more. 'Cause
Yeah, so
I didn't even know Ryan
this is the movie
Gosling
that
was going to be the main cast, and then they had Mike Smith coming in. For anyone that knows Doctor like House of the Dragon or Doctor Who, um, apparently signed on board.
yeah.
So I'll let you take it away. I have no idea what the pre like what the whole
Yeah,
what.
so not much has been released about what it is. We know it's I mean, it sounds like it's going to be like a Top Gun type movie in the Star Wars setting. Um Ryan Gosling is going to be the lead, and
Ryan
we know
Gosling
it.
will be Maverick.
Yeah. Yep. So uh, oh, Sean Levy. That's right. Sean Levy is going to be the filmmaker. So it's going to star Ryan Gosling, and what's new to me is that Matt Smith will be playing portraying the villain in this show. So getting some good cast members, good actors for the Starfighter show, which I think is not it's going to be released in the next couple of years, I think. But I think this is one of this movie. I know there's been a lot of announcements of, oh, this there's going to be this movie, and then it gets canceled. This one seems to be like it's happening. I mean, if you get sign on someone like Ryan Gosling, it's probably safe to say it's going to come out. So yeah, looking forward to getting more information about this, but just cool to see the different actors that are being brought in, because if Andor taught us anything, as long if you have good acting, doesn't matter how small or large scale the setting or the movie is, it's going to be a good movie or show. So
Yeah, I'm really
hopefully that
interested
holds true with this.
with Ryan Gosling being if he's the lead role. To me, I'm just like Ryan Gosling, Star Wars, but
Yeah, it's not going to be like a Jedi or anything, but if
no,
he's
no,
going to be
no,
a
no.
pilot,
It'll be like kind of like similar to like Andor or Rogue One, I'm sure, something like in that scale. But just like Ryan
yeah.
Gosling, but I'm like, but he has surprised me so many times. Between I love Drive. Have you seen that?
Okay,
I
I
think
haven't seen that.
okay, that's a phenomenal movie where he literally has like a total of like 12 words he says.
Oh, really?
He's just a driver for like every like sort of like hit run or like burglar. He just like I don't carry a gun. I just drive. He's just the
Okay.
driver. And he's like great at it.
Okay.
And then Blade Runner was it 2049 or whatever it was, the
Yeah.
sequel.
Yeah.
He was phenomenal in
Yep.
that. So I was like, he surprised me in many ways where I'm just like, I don't know if, nah, I don't. But then all of a sudden, I was like, damn, he killed it. So I'm surprised to
Yep.
see what kind of, or I'm looking forward to see what kind of role he plays in Starfighter. I'm guessing he'll be the protagonist, and then Matt Smith, or was it? Yeah,
Yep.
Matt Smith will play
Matt Smith will be
the
the end.
bad guy.
Yep.
So
Yeah. And I mean, uh, overall, I mean, Ryan Gosling's a good actor, and I think he's very versatile and can play many roles. So that gives me confidence in his ability in this. Um, I see him kind of being like a Poe Dameron, like flyboy, kind of
yeah,
cocky but talented. Um, so he's going to bring some humor into it, but also going to be very skilled in what he does. Um, so yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. But I'm just excited for another Star Wars movie. I'll take it no matter what. Even if I prefer not having like bad stuff like Acolyte, but even if we do, hey, it's more Star Wars to watch and it's more content for our
for us
show,
to shoot
so
the shit.
I'll take it. Yeah, exactly. But Sean
And
Levy
then
is a good producer too, so I mean,
yeah, yeah. And then we keep forgetting. I mean, we got isn't Spaceballs too just
yeah, Spaceball 2 is coming out.
right around the corner here?
And we'll have an episode on that for sure. I mean, we probably have to have an episode of the first one
Just the
and
first
then
one, yeah. If we can get
yeah, just the first
if
one.
we can get some of our other buddies to jump on, I'm sure they would talk Spaceballs.
Oh yeah, who doesn't want to talk Spaceballs?
Yeah, Ryan.
We'll prepare to
Yeah,
talk about
Petey.
it. Why prepare? Just do it. Yeah, we got to get them to jump on. We'll get them. We'll get them. All right. Well, I will wrap it up now that we're almost 10 minutes past midnight and our internets are yelling at us. So,
Yeah.
just again, if you're listening to us, hit that or watching us on YouTube, hit that subscribe button, uh, like, follow, rate, review, all the above. We greatly appreciate it. As a reminder, we have a prize giveaway at 200 subs, and then that will lead us to 500 subs, which we will have another prize giveaway of something along the lines of this. If you're watching our YouTube channel of this right now, you'll get an idea of what we're giving away. If you're just listening to us, trust me, you're not going to want to miss out on that prize giveaway. So, yeah, hit that subscribe button. And yeah, thanks again for listening to us and have a great rest of your day. Have a great rest of your week. And we look forward to sometime soon, we'll bring the trailer reaction video for the next Rebuild the Galaxy Lego Star Wars show. So, and as always, may the force be with you.